Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. It's all JM team. There's 1 month to go, people. Let's get it. Woo! My goodness, my people, Trevor Plouffe's people, welcome back to Talkin' Baseball with less than a month to go in the regular season. And we're giving out pedals today and potentially a daisy in 1 month from now. As we talk about the best of the best, Trev, you love players. You are a players guy. It's players only. And we are highlighting the best of the best in this episode. And only 1 month to go in the regular season, Plouffe?
You know, I told you before the show, this is my favorite episode to do. I love gassing up dudes, talking about who's doing well. And you're right. Look, we're coming down to the nitty gritty. This is going to go April through August. And then we add in that September month, that October week. This is the separator month. Let's go into August. Let's tell people what happened, who's killing it. We think there's a few big discussions here. Some guys have ran away with it. But this, like I said, Jake, I love doing these episodes.
AL catcher has become a really fun one. And man, there's just so many dudes. To put it together for a whole year is so tough. And we've got some guys hard charging because maybe they had a slow first half. Adley Rushman, how are you, kid? And man, even giving some love to some guys. You know, we haven't mentioned Adolis Garcia a lot this year. Having a really nice year for Texas. I don't think he's getting a pedal. Nice ball player, though.
What I like about our system here is it does give guys a chance throughout the year to showcase, hey, I had a good month or I had a bad month, but then I picked it up. Like you can either tail off or like you said, you could pick up steam throughout the year.
Yeah.
And when you get a pedal in August, that means you put together pretty much a complete season. Because like you said, this isn't incorporating April through August. This isn't just an August award. This is people that put the stats up all throughout the year. And I think that's important when we talk about, you know, who's doing what in the league.
Well, let's do it, Trev. And this is all brought to you by SeatGeek. They're the geeks of seats. We are the geeks of baseball. That's what people call us. Me, Trev, Beebs, Jommer. Like, you guys are geeks. But we know our stuff. And so does SeatGeek. They're the geeks of seats. Download the app. It's crazy easy to use. And with code TALKIN, you will get $20 off your tickets at SeatGeek. Your first purchase. Code TALKIN on the SeatGeek app. Go watch some of these dudes. You got 1 month to do it. And then that postseason, baby. Ooh, Trevor.
Shohei Ohtani doesn't get any awards for us, right?
He can win.
Like, he's just out. He's out. He is better than our team, I guess, right? Like, we don't have a thing for him.
There's just his own award. I mean, technically, there's a util spot now. Is he not utility?
He'd win that every year. Yeah.
Last year, he got the Silver Daisy at DH. And this year, he might be in that conversation for starting pitcher. I haven't looked that far ahead. Maybe he's back in the conversation at DH as well. Haven't looked that far.
We might just have to make the Shohei Ohtani award.
I think that's cool.
And you know what? The thing that we do well is we're okay. We make adjustments.
Right?
We're trying to figure this thing out. We don't know what to do with Shohei Ohtani. Nobody knows what to do with this guy. Okay, like WAR does not understand how to calculate Shohei Ohtani. I've been diving deep on this guy because I'm in this Judge versus Ohtani thing. We talk about it on Baseball Today. We talk about it on Talking Baseball. You know, like there's a gap in WAR between Judge and Ohtani, but I really believe after reading stuff and hearing how they calculate it, it's not meant for a pitcher that hits.
Right.
It's not meant for that. Like he's broken WAR essentially.
it's impossible to fully account for a guy who is 2 roster spots in one spot.
In my head,
he's not going to be in this. He's not going to be in this. Is basically all I'm saying.
In my head, it seems like we're landing on that there might be a best two-way player in each league award, and I feel like Shohei could be all over that, potentially. Let's see how the rest of the year figures out. I know Marwin Gonzalez pitched a clean outing the other day. So
Nick Gordon just got in a game.
Gordon, you love Nick Gordon. So
he gave up a lot of runs though. Nick, what are you doing, bro?
Oh.
You look like me in the alumni game.
Oh God,
I'm
Trev.
blanking on the guy. I know there's some position player on I think an AL team that's pitched 7 times this year.
I mean, we'll put him against Ohtani. I saw Cody Clemens struck out Ohtani the other day. That's got to count.
Yeah. So he's automatically he's there.
Trev, let's jump to the American
Where are we
League.
dropping, bro?
We're dropping to the American League. First base position. We have it on top of our sheet. We are a cron pod. Sometimes I want to start catcher. Maybe we'll round out the infield with catcher. The AL team this year, Anthony Rizzo. Remember the home run leader in April to Ty France. Your boy, Trev. To Ty France. To Vlad Guerrero Jr., Ty got banged up, and then he was coming out of it a little bit. Vladito caught up to him with pop. And now, the guy that I think we were debating with him, I think we had a 3-way split last time. And now Jose Abreu is 309, 386 with an 8.4 OPS. This is, again, through August. And then Vladito's 285, 351, a 504 slug. So he really 27 homers to the 14 homers for Abreu. And they have the same amount of doubles. So, Trev, I know with Biebs as the equalizer today, you and I will have to reveal our cards at different times. But I guess what's jumping out to you about the first base position?
Well, I think right now, you mentioned Ty France. He had a rough little patch there. He is getting it going. These are through August. He's right outside of this. So I don't think he's getting our award today. Luis Ariz, who's played quite frequently at first base, I think is better suited for the utility role. So I don't think he's in the focus here. I think it's down to 2 guys, and it's Abreu and Vlad. And really the numbers are kind of similar as you go through it. Abreu's, going to get on base at a little higher clip. Vladdy's going to outslug him a little bit. The OPSs are separated by 840 to 850. Vladdy's got him in homers, like I said, because he's outslugging him. It's really, I think, comes down to who plays a little bit better defense. And right now, Abreu's kind of got my lean. I have a little bit of an affinity for him playing against him for those years and just seeing the at-bats that he puts up. I think Vladdy's a hell of a first baseman and a hell of a player. But I think I'm gonna lean Abreu here.
It's an interesting case, man. Both of these guys, when we got these stats, the same amount of games played at first base with a couple DH days mixed in. For me, Trev, and I mean, talk about putting your kid on the stand and picking between your folks early on. I like the homers and the RBI from Vlad. 27 homers, almost double Jose Abreu's home run total, and 19 more RBI. I know RBI is a stat that's faded out because you need to be in a position to drive in those runs, and the Mid-Sox haven't been about that. But to me, that's still important. That means you're doing it. And with those home runs, I mean, it's double. Like, part of the infatuation with Judge this year is how much he's out homering the American League. For him to be out homering Jose Abreu by almost double, Ty France has 18. I think I'm going with Vladito. So unless I was persuasive enough, I think we need to kick it to the big, beautiful baby.
I said what I said.
He said what he said.
I said what I said.
I love everything Jose Abreu brings to a baseball team. Their numbers are very close in really everything but the slug, which does, I think, break the tie for me. I'm going to go Vladdy.
Wow.
They strike out at more or less the exact same rate. Jose Walks a little more, like it's noteworthy, but same number of doubles. They've played the same amount. And I don't think the difference in batting average or defense makes a big enough difference. I mean, on the batting average front, Jose Abreu, his BABIP's almost 60 points higher than Vladdy's. I don't know if it feels like a little good luck, bad luck on either end. I don't know how far to adjust, but overall, the slug, like I have to lean Vladdy when you're ahead by that much on the homers.
I'm okay with that. I had the wrong tip up for the defensive metrics anyway, so like they are not, either of them aren't going to be flashing, the leather too much, and I thought that was a little strange for Abreu to do it. Although he can do it.
I blindly assumed, because we have WAR in front of us, I don't have defensive specific metrics, but I assumed that difference in WAR came largely from defense, which maybe he is better. I don't know.
I think for Abreu's 35.
Right.
I think that you got to take that into consideration a little bit. I'm fine with you taking Vladdy, though. I get it.
This was a little 1A, 1B, and man, when it comes to all JM team, I just want to be back here in a month, or maybe it's after the season, saying we got the right guys. So whoever it is, these guys are 1A, 1B right now. Ty France, I wouldn't mind just sneaking up, kid. So the first base position in the AL for the all JM team is still up for battle for that last month.
We had a lot of guys last year, or at least a handful. Like Kyle Tucker comes to mind. A few guys that snuck in, didn't get a pedal all season until the end. Kyle Tucker's one of them.
At second base in the American League, we have seen an old friend take over. Jose Altuve has had the second base position for the last 3 months. First month was Andres Jimenez, as we were still learning who the young ball player was, arguably the focal point of the Jose Reyes trade. Jose Reyes, Jesus, Jake. Francisco Lindor. It's not 2008 anymore, kiddo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where are we now in the simulation?
The shortstop for the Mets, Reyes. Jimenez and Trev, he is back in the conversation and in a big way. F-War likes Jimenez over Altuve. The power numbers have almost caught up. Altuve still with the homers and the doubles, I suppose, but Jimenez has them in stolen bases. I think defensively, Jimenez has announced himself as one of the better players in the league. The other guys that deserve mention are some of our UTIL guys. DJ LeMahieu, who's been tough lately. He's had an injury. Luis Arias, who won last month. And watch out for Marcus Semien after a slow start this year. He is starting to go. He's a 2020 guy right now. So second base, Trev, where do your eyes jump?
I think I'm leaning Andres Jimenez. I really like watching him play. I also love Jose Altuve. I've talked about him many times, trying to clear this guy's name to no avail because people still boo him greatly. But watching Jimenez play and understanding kind of like where he's at and what he can do all over the field, I think he does play a better second base right now than Jose Altuve defensively. So for that reason, I'm gonna lean Andres.
Trev, I'm with you. Where Jimenez's stats have gotten this year, and what he's provided to Cleveland on both sides of the ball, 302, 366, and 854 OPS from this kid. Someone coming into the year, you're probably like, okay, good speed, good defense. Let's see. I mean, he's taking it to an incredible level. With a big month, are we going to be talking about him potentially going for like batting title? I don't know. I don't know. But the fact that his power numbers, 15 home runs, 60 RBI, Altuve is killing him in runs, but I think that's tied to more so the guys that hit behind Altuve. Watch Andres Jimenez defensive highlights. I mean, that kid is fun. Special, and it's game-changing, and I think you're right. Altuve is good, but I don't think defensively people are looking at Altuve as a guy that can almost break your back with the play that they're going to make out there. So I think it's Jimenez.
Altuve can still pick it and play well at second base, but Andres, got the age on him, got the youth on his side. He's out there playing all over the place. He also has him in stolen bases.
Yep.
15 stolen bases through August for Andres. Altuve has 12 stolen bases. If Andres could get the walk percentage up a little bit, that's when he takes the next step from really good ball player to great ball player. Though that's the one step that usually separates those guys is the walk rate. Get the walk rate up, bring the K rate down a little bit, and the next step is he could be the next Jose Altuve.
And by the way, he's racking up WAR, and he just turned 24. So that patience at the plate, that could be on its way soon. And man, pairing him up with a guy we might talk about at third base in a little bit. Cleveland, the Guardians have something. The Guardians have something going on.
If they could keep their pitchers from punching stuff and getting out of the season, they'd be all right.
Oops.
What are they doing?
What are you doing? Don't punch with your hands, pitchers.
The mound? You're gonna beat up the earth?
It's a tough one. Maybe
it's clay, bro.
Maybe us humans are already beating up the earth, man.
Just became a late night app.
Shortstop. Congrats, Andres Jimenez. Shortstop. I think this is a quick one. There is someone hard charging. A name I don't think we've talked about too much. Xander Bogaerts won the past 2 months. He's been great. Tim Anderson had it in May and April. J.P. Crawford, obviously, to start the season. Xander's been rolling the contract year. I'm still giving him the lean, Trev, but a guy who got paid this offseason, Corey Seager, are you kidding me? Broke his lefty home run record for shortstop. 29 homers this year. I know Judge has kind of thrown everything out the window, but 29 homers this year is still a big number coming from the shortstop position, finding his way. 4.2 F4. I think there's a Seager conversation. I think Xander still clips him, no?
This one's easy for me. I think Xander's got it. Some of the numbers are just kind of on his side. Too much for me to ignore. I love that Seager's making it a thing. Come win it in September, bro. But right now, this is Xander's award.
Congrats to Xander Bogaerts. Go collect a big old contract this offseason. God, that's sweet. Love that for him. Correa and Ahmed Rosario listed on the sheet. Correa's numbers looking okay.
Creeping back up.
Finish strong, kid. Go Twins, right? Third base. Trev, a position you're fond of. There are guys that we have constantly talked about as we've done this. Jose Ramirez in April and May. Devers through June and July. Those guys have been linked up since we've started the All-JM team. Alex Bregman has entered the conversation as he's start to go nut job. And even your boy Eugenio Suarez getting some love on the sheet, Trev, as his RBI total begins to climb. I still think there's an easy answer, but I'll let you go.
I'm going to give my vote to Jose Ramirez. I think he's just kind of done pretty much everything a little bit better than every other candidate here. If you hear Tito talk about Jose Ramirez, that's when you start to understand just like kind of the impact that he's had on the Guardians organization, which is really cool. He's been doing it for a long time too. Bregman charging hard. He's looked great. And again, if he could go off in September, last week in October, maybe he's got a case. But right now, it's Jose Ramirez and everybody else. And Eugenio, just chill, bro.
Yeah.
6 RBIs in games. You don't need to do that. 2's fine. Ramirez is the guy here for sure.
Bregman in the second half, 41 games, 322, 397, a 994 OPS.
Yeah, he's found it.
Alex Bregman has found it and gotten it going, and I think I think the cool part is he told Eno Saris, like, oh, I'm about to go nuts, dude. And he did. And, sometimes players are always going to say that about themselves, but when you believe it and you're healthy and your swing feels right and you do it, he's got to be feeling really good. Devers, 32 games in the second half, 202, 273, a 620 OPS from Rafa. You never expect it from him because when he's right, it's so beautiful.
Yes.
But congrats to Jose Ramirez. He is the vote. Again, I know nobody really cares about RBI, but guess what? Compare RBI to everyone else. He's got 106.
Who doesn't care about RBI?
People are out because it's an opportunity-based thing. We need a new stat.
You can't fully control
We
it.
need a new stat that's like RBI conversion percentage.
Hey,
or
guess
something
what?
like
You
that.
can't fully control shit on a baseball field when you're playing offense.
It's true, Trev. That's kind of life,
Baseball is life, bro.
Similar to batting average, it fell kind of all the way out and it's starting to creep back into, oh, no, this still has value.
Runs are good.
We're figuring out where everything should land as a baseball society.
Jose Ramirez reclaims his throne at third base, which makes around the horn Vlad, Jimenez, Bogarts, Ramirez. That's pretty good. And behind the dish, Trev, I teased this one. My thick king, Alejandro Kirk, had taken over the catching position because he was dominating offensively. Like even some of his, defensive, I guess, lack of skill on some of the defensive side of the ball. What Alejandro Kirk was doing as an offensive catcher, it was still kind of a no-brainer. And a lot of those stats are still there. He's still hitting. But boy, has Sean Murphy started to go, and he's kind of your two-way guy with Adley Rutschman getting it going. And my guy Jose Trevino does deserve a shout-out for what he's done this year, but he's kind of below what we're currently talking about. So I don't think we're talking Rutschman now. I think we're talking Rutschman next month. But Sean Murphy may have caught and passed Alejandro Kirk.
Alejandro's not getting this catcher's award for me. 66 games at catchers. Adley Rutschman already has more games than him at catcher. I think this is now a decision. Do we say, okay, Sean, since you've been up, your numbers, your counting stats are going to be better because you played more games. 96 out of 119 games at catcher for Sean Murphy. But Adley's caught him in a lot of different numbers, bro. So I have to think, do I want to give it to Sean just because he's been up all year? Or, that's not Adley's fault that he wasn't up all year.
Right?
Gosh, dang, this is tough. You know what? I'm going to go first because I want to make it tough on you, okay? I'm going to give this to Adley Rutschman. I think he's done enough. And what that damn team has done since he's been up has persuaded me. He is a legitimate leader coming up at his age. And the numbers are pretty dang similar, man. Like I said, some of the counting stats are going to be there for Murphy because he's played more games, but I'm going Adley, man.
This is a tough one. It's where all jam team gets really tricky because I don't, in a way, Sean Murphy shouldn't be penalized for Adley Rutschman not being called up. And, Sean Murphy has, 50 more hits and he's got, more than double the runs batted in, which I've complimented. And he's got 17 homers to the 8 homers. And by the way, he's been slugging 30 doubles from Sean Murphy. His slugging is 451, which is higher than Alejandro Kirk's. So, yeah, I mean, when you're talking Sean Murphy has 30 more games behind the dish than Kirky. And that's, almost, if I'm penalizing Alejandro Kirk for not playing his games by the dish, for Rutschman, I unfortunately have to treat it the same situation that Sean Murphy is my pick through August, and I think in October, Adley Rutschman can catch him, but I can't anticipate that. I would love to, but it's the whole point of doing this. So I think for AL from April through August, My pick is Sean Murphy. The stimulator?
I respect it. I respect
you.
Basically, for the reasons you said, between these two, I have to go Sean Murphy. I think there's time for Adley to make us have a real gut check moment after the season. But, yeah, the difference in games right now is still so big. I hate to punish Adley for it. It's not his fault, but it's what happened. You didn't get to start till May, dude.
And man, Sean Murphy had it in April. I forgot about that. That was controversial at the time. Jonah Heim claimed it in May, which was a lot of the similar conversation. Kirky ran away with it the last 2 months. Through August, Sean Murphy reclaims the catching throne in the American League. Another spot that is up for sale. And yeah, man, if I was buying stock, I mean, Adley Rutschman, are you kidding me?
I think that guy's going to get himself some pedals.
What a beast, man. If he gets...
What a beast.
Oh, that AL catching position. Trev, to the outfield.
Yes.
I know you used to play out there. We now, as you've talked about adjusting our format, we need a center fielder because we show respect to the position that way. In the corner of the outfield, it can be a center fielder because we believe they have the acumen to do it, but you need one center fielder and the two best outfielders. After that, Mike Trout has been AL center fielder the whole time. Potential silver daisy coming his way. The other sides, last month, Julio Rodriguez got in with Big Aaron Judge. Big Aaron Judge has been at it for 2 months. He got beat out by Yordan Alvarez 1 month, who was in the outfield. Stephen Kwan and Taylor Ward were involved in this at a certain point. And so is Kyle Tucker. The outfield gets a little crazy, a little kooky. I mean, and where this again starts to get crazy, I mean, Aaron Judge is on this team. 8.3 F4. He's going for the home run record. The guy has still played a lot of center field. He's also played a bunch of right field where this guy is going to be there. And I think, and Trev, not to overstep my boundaries, but I think Mike Trout would be still the center fielder as he continues to have a 954 OPS, and Judge in right.
I think Judge is going to be in right field. He's played 64 out of 127 games, through August in center field. So he's kind of out in that regard to me for center fielders. If we're just mentioning a center fielder, it has to be either Trout or Julio. Trout's played 86 of 91 games in center field, and Julio's played every single game. He's played 113 of them center field. Now, if it's between those two guys, Trout's going to take it home for me. His numbers are just too good. He is in line for the Silver Daisy this year. People forget about Mike Trout. A little bit of layoff this year. Then you got Shohei doing his thing. Then you got the Angels being the Angels. Go look at his numbers, people. They are still there looking righteous. So for me, it's Mike Trout in center field. And I don't think we even need to have a discussion about right field or the other outfield spots. Judge is one of them. So we'll go Mike Trout for me, center field. Judge, one of the other outfielders that we have, obviously.
I agree. And it's people, I know you're appreciating what Aaron Judge is doing. He's chasing the home run record. The runs, the RBI are there. And by the way, still playing 64 games in center field for that dude is insane. It's insane. It's part of the story. Trout is a lock, and I don't think it's really conversational. Trev, the third spot is, and I think this is where we landed last month, I think there's a Julio Rodriguez, Byron Buxton, Kyle Tucker conversation. Kyle Tucker sneakily approaching the 2020 club. Some other guys. Stephen Kwan is putting together a great year, and he also might win the Gold Glove in left field. Julio had it last time. He still has the power and the stolen bases with your boy Buxton sneaking back in the game. I think I'm still Julio, but I don't know. I could be talked into something else if you're feeling persuasive today.
Byron's outslugging everybody, all the rest of the outfielders by far. The on-base percentage is tough for me at 306. That's about where I was career, and I know I didn't get on base a lot. So I think I might have to fault Buxton for that. Now, Julio's not lighting the world on fire, getting on base 326 through August, and neither is Kyle Tucker at 337. This is tough. 23 stolen bases, so Julio leads all those three guys in that. Buxton's not going to steal any bases right now. He's nursing legs. So 6 stolen bases on the year. Tucker has surprised me. I didn't know he had 19 through August.
Right?
It's going to be a 2020 guy.
Right?
Shoot, man. So right now for me, it's between Julio and Kyle Tucker for this spot. And their numbers are basically identical.
So similar.
Basically identical.
Which you picture those guys as such different ball players, but the stats come out pretty similar.
I'm voting Kyle Tucker for my last spot. I love watching that guy play. I love Julio too, man. I love it. But Kyle Tucker, you got my nod this month.
Trev, I think I'm with you, man. I was about to say the same words. I mean, he's a tick. He's got him a tick in OPS. He's got him a tick in on base. And yeah, just because some of it feels different. Kyle Tucker plays a high-level defensive outfield. I know. I'm not sure exactly where the numbers with Julio. I doubt he plays a bad one with how athletic that guy is. I think it's Kyle Tucker. And he's a huge part of what Houston does and a guy that probably deserves a lot more recognition and love, and that's part of the reason we've done this. So Julio Rodriguez clipped Kyle Tucker in July. Kyle Tucker had it through June, and now Kyle Tucker comes back and gets it. I know Julio missed some time. He was out. He had
some time missed.
He got hit in the hand, I believe, and he had a little IL stint, so that probably hurt some of his counting stats. Because I remember last time, his stolen base numbers kind of ended the conversation last time. But Kyle Tucker, I mean,
right there.
That's impressive. That's impressive. A guy that, you still think of probably a few Astros before you get to Kyle Tucker.
If you needed me for the tiebreaker, I also was going to go Kyle Tucker.
Sweet.
Their numbers very, very close, and I think he gets the edge on a couple more games played, but he's also walked nearly double the rate and struck out 10% less often. So I think between those, he gets the edge, but it's so close.
Mariners fans, sound off.
You will.
In the comments.
You always do.
All right, Trev, the DH position, piggying back off of that Kyle Tucker and Houston team. I think our guy Jordan is holding on. Now his competition is Buxton, who we just talked about, who even Jordan, after having a tough month, his numbers still just eclipse Buxton, Alejandro Kirk, and even that Shohei Ohtani guy who now has entered the chat. I mean, he has 30 homers. His OPS is about 100 points lower than Jordan's because Jordan is kind of nuts. I guess it's a conversation. I don't know, Trev.
Jordan's taken the DH award for us. I don't think there's any conversation. What he's put together, this season he's put together has been very, very special. We've been talking about him for a long time. There's no secret about Jordan anymore. This guy is one of the premier hitters in all of baseball. He got the massive contract. I love Shohei. He should probably win our utility award, but like I said before the start of the show, we just don't know how to quantify Shohei, so he just doesn't get anything. Sorry, Shohei.
You'll get nothing.
For me, Jordan wins the DH.
Jordan keeps it. Yeah, I mean, the numbers are still insane. It was a down August, which a little surprising to look at those numbers. But yeah, he's in a different world than Buxton Kirk. And even still, Ohtani, although Ohtani seems to be getting warm, and if Jordan stays close, he could come He could come for that DH spot. I mean, 30 homers. What a freak. What an absolute freak show.
What was JD Martinez doing in May that we gave it to him over Jordan?
So, well, Jordan made it for left field. It was that no AL left fielder stepped up. Jordan's, at least at the time, had played enough
I feel
left
better
field.
now. I feel better now.
So Jordan is going for a silver daisy. It would be a very unique one. There'd be like a different colored petal representing. It'd be like I don't know. There's got to be flowers that have a different colored petal.
It'd be like a lopsided something.
Yeah, there's a lot of flowers in my time on this earth.
What was that?
All sorts of flowers.
All sorts of flowers?
I said there's a lot of flowers on this earth. That's what I've learned.
Does Liv have a favorite flower? Do you have a go-to get her something?
She is my flower, my Egyptian flower.
Yeah, you're right.
That's true.
UTIL, Trev, as we still figure out the position. Luis Arias has won it as we initiated it last month. DJ LeMahieu is in the conversation. He's kind of been on the struggle bus lately. He's been banged up. War still likes DJ. The pure stats themselves, the batting average, the on base, and the OPS. It's still Arias for me, and I don't know if I have to twist your arm on that.
No, I'm gonna give it to my guy Luis for sure. I love watching him play. I think he still is leading the American League or all of baseball with a 318 batting average, which is, say what you want about batting average, still pretty cool if you can lead the league in it. The dude knows how to hit. He broke up Dylan Cease's no-hitter. I guess that was in September, so I can't give him credit for that. But he's my guy, Luis Arias. Congratulations. 2 times in a row you've won the utility award pedal.
Yeah, he just hits, man. He just hits, and him and Bogarts currently battling it out for that AL batting title. As we record this, Bogarts has clipped him, but that could change by the time this episode is even out. Your AL pitcher, it's been Logan Gilbert, Martin Perez throwing that cutter, Sugar Shane McClanahan, and then the old man, Justin Verlander, had claimed it as of last month. The pitcher has always been an afterthought on the All-JM team, which is kind of hilarious. So, Trev, I know our guy JV, he pulled up with the calf, but he was rolling before that. McClanahan has also gotten banged up. Cease and Gossman have been around the whole time, even a little Framber alert. For me, I was going to say it's still Verlander. Let me see. I think, yeah, I mean, the start that he came out of was August 28th. For me, it's still Verlander. His ERA is 1.84. And he's got the most inning pitched out of that crew except for Framber, but I think he's in a different league than Framber, so I think it would still be JV for me.
This is all over the place. If you look at F4, it supports Gossman, and I think he's leading the all of baseball in FIP, which I think that is probably what's attributing to that. The regular old stats, I mean, you could look at JV for that. You could look at McClanahan for that. McClanahan has a .86 whip through August, which is just ridiculous. Dylan Cease doing what he's been doing, striking out everybody. This is really tough for me. I don't really have a lean here. Love what Framber's been able to do with it. I'm going to make BBD come to the rescue here. You went JV, right?
I did.
Well, hold on, bro. I didn't tell you who I picked.
Okay.
I'm still thinking about it. It's very, very tough. You can't go wrong here. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Cease. And maybe there's a little bit of recency bias with watching him just carve up my Twins, but I just like watching that dude throw the ball. So I'm going Cease.
190 Ks.
I think I'm with you, Trev.
Ho! Baby.
Ironically, I hate to be mad at Verlander for that one more for leaving one start kind of early, but I think it'd make the innings pitched. They'd be right there with each other if that didn't happen, and that does matter to me. I'm excited to see how this all shakes out. A lot of top end talent.
I almost went Framber.
Right now.
The 22 consecutive quality starts, that does
crazy.
something for me, bro. I think that's what's beautiful about our all JM team and having a panel here pick it, is the fact that we value different things in our ball players. I love the fact that, Framber's going to go out there and give you a chance to win the game. You could say that about most of these guys too, but to be able to do it that many times in a row I think you deserve a nod for that. But Cease is so dominant right now.
And you're a dominant guy. I like it. I like it. Dylan Cease has been incredible this whole season. It feels like he hasn't gotten the accolades he deserves. Maybe these White Sox and him can finish it off down the stretch as he joins the all-JM team, the AL team through August. Murphy, Guerrero Jr., Jimenez, Bogarts, Jose Ramirez, Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Kyle Tucker, Yordan Alvarez, Dylan Cease, and Luis Arraez. Which leads us into our National League presented to you by DraftKings. And people, the first NFL Sunday is here. And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving new customers a can't-miss offer. Celebrate the return of the NFL season. You can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOHNBOY to get $200 in free bets. And that's instantly when you place a $5 bet this Sunday. That's code JOHNBOY, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right, Daddy Trev, the National League, as we head around the horn. We'll start with the first base position, which luckily for you and I remains an easy one. Because although Freddie Freeman is hitting at a crazy rate, and although Christian Walker is on the board with 30 ding-dongs, Paul Goldschmidt still remains the best player from the National League this year. We can give it to Paulie G?
Yes.
Okay. Congrats to Paul Goldschmidt, who has won it in every month except April, when Eric Hosmer, Red Sox great, won it for the San Diego Padres. Trev.
What were his numbers? We got to talk about this. We got to go back.
He was hitting, dude.
He'd be hitting in April.
And now he has a change of scenery. Trev, second base, Tommy Edman. Oh, my God. Tommy Edman, April, May, June. The guy was racking up WAR, but the hitting numbers were starting to slip. And young Gavin Lux eclipsed him through July. This year at second base, I mean, you want to get all sorts of weird with this conversation. Jeff McNeil is in the mix for what he's been doing. Tommy Edman is in the mix for this and the UTIL. Jake Cronenworth, Gavin Lux. It's been a messy second base position. If Jeff McNeil is eligible, I think he's got my vote in 824 OPS from this cat.
How many games at second base? He won the utility spot last year, so we need to find out how many games he played at second base. That does mean something. One of those two guys is going to win the utility award, either Tommy Edman or Jeff McNeil.
McNeil, this includes some September, but 85 games at second, 31 in left. One at third, 4 and right.
Gavin Lux has really turned it on for the Dodgers. He's been excellent for them. Dave Roberts says this guy, like, he's not a prospect anymore. People have to stop looking. This guy's a legitimate Major League Baseball player making a difference for the best team in baseball down the stretch. So we have to talk about Gavin Lux, but I think overall body of work right here, I think McNeil has to get it at second base because he's done the same thing. He's stabilized a position for one of the best teams in all of baseball. His numbers, the counting stats, even some of the other numbers are just a tick better. So I'll give it to McNeil for second base.
Yeah, we're in lockstep, man. He, everything is just a tick better than Gavin Lux. And yeah, that's the ability with the UTIL in second base allows Jeff McNeil to go there. Congrats, Jeffrey. Tough break. Is he a Jeffrey? Everyone just calls him Jeff McNeil. I'm sorry if he's not, but he's gotta
not
be,
a
right?
Jeffrey. Like, you see that guy. That's not a Jeffrey right there.
I felt weird saying it. I take it back. I'm sorry to everyone.
Baseball Reference says full name Jeff McNeil. So
yeah, and he's not a Jeffrey at all. Like, I felt gross doing that.
Yeah. As
he came out of the womb
Jake.
Was like, you name me Jeffrey? No, let's just chop the re off, baby.
Yeah, that's and that's kind of what he does with that bat, that axe handle.
His Wikipedia also just Jeff.
Okay, well now the grossness felt right.
As just a Jake, you can appreciate that.
Jeff is such a strange name. Such a strange name.
People that go
Jeff.
GEO.
Like, think
with
about it.
Yeah, a lot of names are bizarre.
Like, Jeff is the same thing as like Zed.
Yeah,
like in the same world. Jeff Passan.
Oh boy.
Friend.
Now, Jeffrey Dahmer goes by Jeffrey. That's maybe
okay.
Maybe edit that out. I don't know.
No, that stays, and
That's
so
staying
does.
in. Okay, Jeffrey Dahmer. Didn't he eat people?
Yeah. Sorry to all our Jeffreys.
Yeah.
Or was that the Donner Pass?
Donner Pass. They all ate each other. Jeffrey Dahmer might have just killed people.
I'm not laughing.
BBD, you get on.
I usually have my serial killer stuff ready to go. I believe our guy.
This
Jeffrey
next one is a
an eater.
doozy.
Trev, I got
National League shortstop position.
I had to take a deep breath because Frankie Lindor had it the first 2 months. Mr. Smile, Mr. Met. Trey Turner has had it the last 2 months. And
Dahmer
all
is
this.
a cannibal.
He was a cannibal?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
It says that before serial killer on his Wikipedia.
I knew that for some reason.
Damn. And Trev, if you're a war person, these guys basically have the same exact war. I mean, Swanson and Lindor, where their numbers are at, is scary similar. Trey Turner, he's got the OPS bump, the batting average with a little more pop, and the stolen bases. I feel like that's kind of what ropes us in. All of these guys kind of deserve to be rewarded, but there's only one all-JM NL shortstop.
And they're all on excellent teams doing it when a shortstop is an anchor essentially for a baseball team. And for these guys to be doing it on these teams really is special. And these are three of the better players in all of baseball. We're talking about Francisco Lindor, what he's done for the Mets. Great. Dansby Swanson really turning it on, proving a lot of people wrong about him, which I love. But Trey Turner is my guy. I've said this multiple times. I like watching Trey Turner almost more than anybody else in all of the big leagues play. I like the way he plays. And defensively, he's been caught up in a little bit of like the metrics don't like him, but like the eye test is there. So he like made a switch because he said, all I had to do was take a few steps over here and the metrics started to like me again. He's figured it out a little bit with that. That's a little cat and mouse game. But I'm going to give Trey Turner my vote for this month.
And it's because
if you really look at the numbers, Jake, he's edging him just a little bit in every single line.
It's because he's the right one, man. Whether you're batting average, on base, or slugging, pure hits, pure RBI, pure stolen bases, kind of however you slice it up, he really should get the nod. I do think the defensive numbers like Frankie and Dansby a little bit more. But it's Trey. It's Trey as he, man, two guys who are going to get paid. I mean, are Trey
and
Turner,
one guy who's already got paid.
Are Trey Turner and Dansby Swanson both free agents this offseason?
They are.
What? I mean,
I said this about Trey Turner before too. Like and maybe Dansby's the same way. These guys, their bodies and the way they play, like it looks like they're gonna age well. They look like they're 24 out there playing the game instead of whatever they are. I think both of them are approaching 28, 29.
Athletic, healthy. Not bad to look at. Congrats to Trey Turner. He remains on top. But man, got to be careful because Dansby or Lindor could come and snag that so easily. On the hot corner, speaking of snagging it, I mean, look at this beautiful disaster of three of the best.
It's pretty close. Closer than I thought it was going to be.
Three of the best players in baseball: Nolan Arenado, Manny Machado, and young, thick Austin Riley. Austin Riley took down Manny Machado last month. Otherwise, Manny had it the whole way. I know young, thick started going nuts, and I do think, I think our guy Manny had a mid-month, for lack of a better term. But now that we are back in the numbers,
I'm making you go first on this one.
You know, third base is close to us. I always laugh when I say that because you had a couple more days in the show than me. This is easy for me, unfortunately. It's Nolan Arenado. He's my favorite defensive third baseman all time, with maybe, you know, a poster I had of Brooks Robinson growing up. But the fact that his offensive numbers are in lockstep with Manny and Austin Riley, or better, it's Nolan Arenado for me.
He's been going off lately. You know, like you said, you had Manny Machado, then Austin Riley take him over in August and in July. I remember saying that in July, Nolan was catching these guys, and Austin Riley had a big one. In August, Nolan had a 1.1 OPS. He slugged .729 in August, 9 homers. That's him up and steal a pedal right there. So Arenado gets my vote as well. Congratulations. You are the winner for third base in the National League.
And by the way, again, can't drive this home enough. He just had a 1.1 for August. He's got an OPS that's 30 points higher than Young, Thick, and Manny Machado. And I think he plays the best defensive third base ever. So for that, and by the way, Manny Machado might be top five or 10 defensive third baseman all time if I had to write down the list. And what he's doing is also crazy. The third baseman around baseball, I've given weird speeches about it before, but it's as stacked of a position I think that we've seen since kind of, you talk about it, that generation of third baseman in the early aughts. Is that what we talk about?
I think 2010, we really just started to see a lot of really, really good third basemen come in the league. You know, we're talking about Machado, we're talking about Arenado, we're talking about Justin Turner, we're talking about Jose Ramirez, Josh Donaldson, Trevor Plouffe, Mike Moustakas, just to name a few.
You know, I like when you call him Malibu Mike.
Yeah, Nolan
just texted me to play golf. He's ready.
On the whole, I think the triple slash just a little better for Nolan than everyone else. They're all right there. The pure power numbers all right there. Strikes out way less, and his BABIP's way lower than the others. If you want to get a little nerdy with it, so
getting nerdy and dirty.
I mean, he hit 9 homers in the month. That's how he overtook Machado in the slug department. Like you said, this is why I love this award. You can be close, then have a massive month, and all of a sudden your overall numbers jump, and now you got the pedal. And now it's Nolan's to lose.
Yeah.
In September.
And both Cards playing some important games. Padres playing some important games. Braves? Are you kidding me? So, yeah. That's awesome. Just looking at those three guys' stats is pretty badass to look at. Trev, the catcher position for the all-JM team. It went JT Realmuto. I think it was a little bit of a respect award that he got it then. Wilson Contreras just went nuts with the stick early on in the summer that he had it through May and through June. And then JT Realmuto came back. He was part of the reason that these Phillies kept it going without Bryce Harper. If you're a WAR person, he's got a better WAR by about 2 points. His OPS, the same realm as Will Smith and Wilson Contreras. 17 stolen bases by JT Realmuto. I mean, that's a very real number. Look around baseball. That's crazy. I mean, that's more than Francisco Lindor and Dansby, who we were looking at before. And we probably should have mentioned that with Tommy Edman before. 26 swipes for him. But JT Realmuto, and, you know, those other guys, I think Smith and Contreras fall into DH days a little more than JT. He's the guy behind the dish for me.
I agree with you. The 17 stolen bases, I did not know he was doing that this year. Sneaky 17 for JT. And when the slash lines are as close as this, I think that has to make a difference. JT defensively is really good as well. Whenever they do some pop time highlights on him, it's pretty incredible, man. I love watching that guy catch. Is he the best catcher in baseball right now?
I'm glad he's back. Like, for years, he was considered that, and then the conversation kind of went away. And if he can finish off the campaign, I think he's back kind of 1-1. Kind of back 1-1.
Well, he's got the daisy, or the pedal, excuse me. For this month.
Congrats to JT Realmuto as that rounds out the all-JM infield. The outfield, Brandon Nimmo has been rolling in center field throughout the year. Mookie Betts has been there recently. Last month, Juan Soto had it. Before that, Schwarbo. Going back early in the season, Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki. Holy cow. With Bryce Harper.
Let's go center field first.
Bryce Harper's had DH locked up. Let's go to center. Oh, shit.
I got mine. I have it.
Please.
No disrespect to Brandon Nimmo, who's having a very, very fine season.
Oh, boy.
There's a guy up and we talked about this last month. We said he's got a chance to surpass Nimmo. Michael Harris II has surpassed Brandon Nimmo. What this guy's been able to do coming up as a freaking rookie, he's almost matched his F4. He's got a 3.7 F4 to Nimmo's 3.9, okay? Everything else, batting average, OPS, even some of the counting stats are getting there with him. He's got more homers than Nimmo, 22 doubles to Nimmo's 25 in about 40 less games, 16 swipes. 16 swipes to Nimmo's 0.
I couldn't believe that.
This guy is right in front of us, and he got paid. We love that for the Braves and for him. He's becoming one of the better center fielders in all of baseball. So Michael Harris has my vote.
The kid is lights out defensively. Nimmo's been great this year defensively too, but I think what Harris provides is kind of a fear factor defensively. I think people may be surprised coming from the Adley Rutschman, Sean Murphy conversation, but catcher is a little different because of the physicality and being back there every day. That was part of the reason I had Murphy, and a lot of Murphy's numbers were in line with Adley's. Michael Harris's numbers are better. They are better. And he's been doing it since he's gotten the call. I hate to do it because Nimmo's been there all year trying to get the vaunted Silver Daisy. I think he is ousted from the center field position by Michael Harris too. And man, I mean, what else do you say? The kid's stats are out of this world. An 859 OPS, 13 homers and 16 steals? What?
And Jake, the same thing we talked about with Andres Jimenez. Look at the walk percentage. Look at the K percentage. The walk percentage is not there. So the on base percentage at 344. You can dream upon that walk percentage getting to around like a 10 instead of a 5%. And then we're talking he's like a 360 to 370 OBP guy. The OPS shoots up. There's more in the tank for Michael Harris II as well, which I think is really exciting for Braves fans. Congratulations, Mike.
He's 21 years old.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even like the top prospect for the Braves. It was like, oh, he's a quick riser.
I think Braves fans knew about him. He wasn't a prospect that like other fans know about.
I mean, congrats, Michael Harris Deuce. Congrats to Braves fans, and sorry to the rest of the league, because sheesh. Trev, there's another guy we don't need to talk about. His name is Mookie Betts.
Yeah, he's good at baseball.
The wars in the sixes, whether you like home runs or defense or base running or anything, Mookie's got it for you. Unbelievable how far he has turned it back on. Trev, the final outfield spot that Juan Soto had won last month. We try not to be biased. I think our guy Ian Happ has returned to the chat in this conversation. I mean, I'm seeing Dalton Varsho's name pop up, which I don't know about all that because I think it's a different territory.
Canna in the mix.
Mark Canna, hey, trying to replace. I mean, Nimmo actually should be in the conversation again with some of his stats he's racked up.
Yeah, this comes down to Happ or Nimmo for me for the last spot here.
So Soto's out for you. Because that OPS still plays.
I think Soto is out for me. I think it's Nimmo and Happ right now.
I mean, this
for my
is
money.
Huge.
God, you can't take Soto out though. You can't take him out.
You can't take Soto out.
You can't take him out. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. He's got a 20% walk rate, which is obviously a product of him. He's really good, and then also playing in Washington for the first half. Oh man. Happer and I have this contentious relationship right now because I owe him this bottle of wine.
Right.
But I can't let that cloud my judgment. He's got Nimmo in homers. He's got Nimmo in doubles. He's got Nimmo in RBI. He's got Nimmo in stolen bases. He's got Nimmo in games played. Better OPS. So now I guess it's Happ versus Soto for me. I'm going Ian Happ. You make the decision.
I mean, it's excruciating. Ian Happ.
Juan's counting stats are better than everyone's.
I mean, everyone's. The on-base percentage is crazy. He's out-slugging Happ. OPS, he's got Happ by like 80 points.
That's all OBP, man.
I know. And there's a value to OBP when it is Juan Soto, like that's...
Yeah.
It's not like he's going up there and just hoping for a walk. It's more so pitchers are walking him to not pitch to him because he's got 9 more homers than Happ. He scored 20 more runs than Happ, which, again, there's some offense stuff there, and I get it. I'm going Soto and kicking to Biebs.
It hurts to have to do this. I love all these people, but I can't deny the counting numbers and it's the other slash lines too. I have to go Soto.
I'm fine with that. I think Nimmo is hurting right now. He could have still been in line for a silver daisy in a big month of September. He could have done it, but instead, he's out.
Yeah, he should get some credit for being a center fielder, even though he's not getting the center field pedal this month. I think I'm still Soto over him too.
I'm starting to understand why voters struggle, man. I mean, the name value that Juan Soto provides with that on-base percentage and with the homers compared to Nimmo. I mean, Nimmo's best trait is his on-base percentage, which Soto's got him by 50 points. So, I mean, brutal. Brandon Nimmo, I'm sorry. As we record this on Jerry Blevin's birthday, I mean, it's just messed up.
Baby.
It's just messed up. But this NL team is loaded. Real Muto, Goldie, McNeil, Turner, Arenado, Soto, Harris, Betts. Before we get to the DH
and the UTIL
starting pitcher and UTIL, we have a couple more cuts to be made, and that was a pun, people, because let me tell you about cuts closing. There's no one I know who has more style than professional athletes, Trev, when they're off the field, and they've let me in on the secret. It's cuts. Every cut shirt is designed to provide a perfectly tailored fit, and they are insanely comfortable. Plus, Cuts has all the essentials for looking sharp, like tees, hoodies, polos, and more, so you can look great no matter the occasion. You'll see these guys wearing Cuts: Bryce Harper, Walker Buehler, Mariano Rivera, who Trevor Plouffe faced. And I think you've got some Cuts, Trev.
I would love to have some cuts if you want to send some out to me.
Because you were in the... So they're naming some show guys, and you were in the... Okay. We can get you some cuts.
Does cuts?
I think he's a cuts guy, too. But I don't know.
Makes the biceps look real nice.
They snug in the right places, if you know what I mean. They make it easy to mix and match styles and colors so you can find your perfect style. The short sleeve crew neck, the long sleeve Henley. The quality is there, people. Join hundreds of thousands of men who have already made the simple decision to elevate their wardrobe with Cuts. Get 15% off your first order by going to cutsclothing.com/baseball. That's cutsclothing.com/baseball. Get 15% off. The designated hitter position, Trev, in the National League, the first year ever, Big Vogie jumped out of the gate, snagged it. He's playing somewhere else, still in the NL. Bryce Harper grabbed it as he went nuts, and he was limited mostly to the DH. He was out for a while. He still kind of retained it. He's come back. I mean, it's either him or the Contreras brothers. Like, what's going on? What?
The DH is a different position than we thought it was going to be. We thought that teams were just going to use a bunch of boppers and say, you know what? Let's put a guy there. Pitchers don't have to hit anymore. Let's put a banger in that position. That's not how it happens, man. Like, it's rest days. It's all sorts of different type of hitters are doing it. There's a lot of catchers that are DHing on their off days. How many Beavers? My internet is so bad here. How many DH days has Wilson Contreras had?
Wilson Contreras as a DH.
He's had a few. I know
he mixes in almost 40 games, 68 games behind the plate, 37 games as a DH.
He's out for me. That's enough. It's not enough for me.
Can I tell you what I think keeps Bryce? And I know it felt a little yucky because he was out for so long. Well, let me remind the people of some of the numbers. Bryce Harper has a .589 slugging this year, a .985 OPS, .323, .395 is insane. 15 homers. The counting stats
are still there for Bryce.
Wilson has him in home runs by 6, and that's a significant number. Everywhere else is even. And how about this? Bryce Harper comes back. He misses July. He comes back for a week in August, 6 games, 381, 500 on base, and 976 OPS. No recovery period. No, I'm figuring it out. He came back for that final week of August, added to his stats. I'm sorry, Contreras bros.
If the counting stats were completely different, like Harper still has more doubles than those guys. The homers are comparable, especially the homer rate is in his favor. Runs and RBI, like, comparable, but again, the rate means something. I'm going to go Bryce Harper here. I think he did enough to have himself hold on to the DH position. And now that he's back, and like you mentioned, he cut his freaking rehab stint short because he's like, let me put me back in the big leagues. I'm so good. I don't give a shit about the minor leagues. He's doing it again. I think again, because there's not a lot of just primary DHs in the NL because they still haven't figured out how to freaking use it. Bryce gets my nod as well. He continues it, and now he's still on pace for the Silver Daisy. No, Vogie had it first.
Vogie had it.
Right.
Vogie had it. So
I'm still giving it to Bryce.
The fact that Bryce didn't play a game in July and he didn't lose the July pedal. He came back, mashed for a week in August. Like, the numbers are still better than everyone else. He plays more DH than everyone else. Which at that position, those rules get a little funky, but
it's just,
it's hard. It'd be weird to move off him now.
William Contreras kind of has the better numbers, but he's only played 74 games. Wilson Contreras, he's getting hurt in this catcher split, but that's all JM. And Harper's numbers are so good that I feel okay with it. If Contreras, you're right. If he had a couple more in the counting, if he was 10 homers up, that's significant. I mean, 6
Bryce
homers.
Harper shouldn't be leading any counting stats when you're talking about a guy that's played 70 games compared to 107 games.
He missed 52 games.
And he's got him
injury, and he's still
right
there or in the lead in all of those numbers.
Doubles, stolen bases. Bryce Harper retains. The UTIL spot, I think we said this guy's name, and he won the last one. There is an interesting competitor from my Snakes and Dalton Varsho, because that guy gets behind the dish for you, which is straight nutty. I do think, and we valued this last time, Tommy Edman, the defense he plays. We talked about Andres Jimenez before. This guy's, wherever he is on the field, he is a problem for you with the 26 stolen bases. Last time we saw him, the OPS had dropped. We saw a 6, and that really freaked me out. It's back in the 7s with the stolen bases, with the defense. I believe Tommy Edman should retain the National League utility man spot.
I'm there. I already said it. Tommy Edman's my guy. I do appreciate a catcher that can play other positions as well. Don't let that slide or fall under the radar. Fly under the radar. What am I talking about?
Plays catcher in center
That's
field.
awesome.
Very cool.
But give me Tommy Edman in the utility role. I think that, dude, if I'm a manager and I got a bunch of Tommy Edmans running around for me, you can make it work.
You'd win games.
He's made some crazy defensive plays, bro. And he's he's just trying to catch up to Arenado and competing with him back and forth. That's a good game for him to play. He's made some nasty plays.
Do not put it on the ground against St. Louis. You got a bad chance of it getting through.
And Jack Flaherty's back, people.
Uh-oh. Bird gang. Trev.
Tommy Edman ran around in center field at least once this year.
We're going to fall into another messy disaster to end it. The all-JM starting pitcher from the National League. The bad man has been the bad man all year. Sandy. He has gotten clipped a little bit recently. Again, these numbers are through August, and he still has the innings pitched. The ERA is incredible. I know your guy Max Fried is sneaking up. The FIP loves some Nola. It loves a couple of these other guys. Zach Gallen is on he can't give up a run if he wanted to.
Logan Webb.
Who do you see?
I was going into this thinking Sandy I knew there were going to be some guys that were close, but Nola, to me, if you're looking at some of these numbers, they're kind of like they're outpacing Sandy a little bit. He's got more strikeouts. I know that doesn't mean a lot. Sandy goes deeper into games and he gets early contact, so he can go deeper into the games. But Nola's only 15 innings behind him, which I guess is a significant margin. The whips are identical, 0.97 for Nola, 0.98 for Sandy. Nola walks less people per 9. I think Max Fried has to be in this discussion as well. Oh, buddy. I'm gonna go Nola.
Oh God.
I'm gonna go Nola. You're still in the second most innings, and at least on the list that we've seen. 185 for Sandy, 170 for Nola. You know, the record, who cares? He's 9-11. Nola, that's hilarious. Nola's got my vote.
Trev. The 4 complete games, do those matter?
Nola's got 2. And a shutout.
That ERA gap is so big.
But the whip.
The whip is right there. The Phillies' defense definitely doesn't help Nola. That ballpark doesn't help Nola. Carlos Rodon deserves a shout out. What are his numbers? Sheesh. Trevor.
Do what you gotta do, big boy.
If we give this to
Are you
Aaron
agreeing
Nola,
with me a little
if we
bit?
give this to Aaron Nola, I think we're canceled. I think it's just over.
So right now I'm looking at, and I don't know if this is through August or whatever. I think this is up to date. So September is in this a little bit. Rodon has the lowest FIP at 234, then Fried at 249, then Nola at 271, then Wheeler at 297, then Sandy at 306. I don't know if that does anything for you.
Sandy got hit his last start, but it was in September. You're going Nola.
I picked Nola, yes, sir.
Aaron Nola, for the record.
Aaron Nola, not his brother.
Not Austin.
The catcher.
I can't do it. I mean, I'm an ERA guy. I know there's ballpark factors and defense factors and all of that, but I mean the ERA being 1.5 down. I'm going Sandy.
I like it. Beavers?
Emotionally drained.
Can't go wrong.
To end the show.
Can't go wrong with any of the guys we've talked about, but yeah, I mean that ERA gap just is too much to deal with. Other than that, they are so close. Nola has almost as many innings. The only other guy who gives as many innings each and every start as Sandy. I'd love to be able to give him credit for being on of the guys we talked about, for being on the team that's playing the most games that matter. I do have to go Sandy. But God, is it closer than I thought it was going to be 6 minutes ago.
I'm fine with that. Obviously, Sandy, you're the best.
I kind of want
Nola's coming, though.
I kind of want to come Nola. For now, it's Sandy.
I think Nola.
I don't think it's going to finish Sandy.
Good position.
I don't think it's going to finish Sandy, and I think that's the part that's hurting me. Because, man.
Give your pick, buddy.
Zach Gallen.
Hot.
Talk about
Max Fried.
Don't leave the table on a heater. From Pablo to Joe Musgrove to Sandy to Sandy to Sandy. The NL team finishes JT Realmuto, Paul Goldschmidt, Jeff McNeil, Trey Turner, Nolan Arenado, Juan Soto, Michael Harris II, Mookie Betts, Bryce Harper, and Sandy Alcantara with Tommy.
Who wins
Edman.
this game? Who wins this game?
I would
Dylan
take.
Cease versus Sandy.
I would take the National League, and I'm traditionally an AL guy.
How many lefties we got on the NL squad? Juan Soto, Michael Harris, Bryce Harper, Tommy Evans switch.
McNeil.
Jeff McNeil's not switch, right?
Lefty.
He's lefty.
Lefty slap.
The NL has a real nice team.
I mean, both are good, man.
But Aaron Judge and Mike Trout in your
Yeah.
freaking outfield.
A lot of thump in that A.
I'd take the NL too.
I'd say sound off in the comments, and you guys normally do on this one. So we can't thank you enough. Friday recap episode. Thank you guys. Man.
I just realized we had no Mariners on this list.
We're
screwed.
dead.
We're screwed.
We're dead. We're dead in the water. Paul
Julio is
Sewell.
so close. JP Croft.
They got Adam Frazier too.
Yes.
Maybe we'll get to that Friday.
White Sox, AL Central favorites now?
Stop.
Did I do it again? Or did I do it again? My hand's inside.